I think I found the notebook of a serial killer. Okay, so, I am 48 recently went to help out my mother with clearing out her house. Took weeks. She was a hoarder, and just so you understand what I mean, she had around 6 different drawers full of unused soap bars, and when I asked why she had too many, her only answer was just in case I needed them. I'm her only remaining family as I was an only child. My father, her husband, passed away from cancer at a young age, and all her siblings or relatives are either dead or not in our country. So I officially made the choice a few months ago to put her in a nursing home. Anyways, the final room I had to clear out was the attic, and when I tell you there was piles upon piles of boxes just filled with books, it took me around 5 hours to sort through it all, and 95% of those books just went into a bag for donations. So when I got to the final box, it felt like a miracle from God, to say the least. I was honestly prepared to just toss the whole box into the donations bag, but I'm glad I didn't. I just regret it a ton most days. I found this old tattered notebook. I felt like if I touched it, it was just going to disintegrate. I cleared off all the dust, assuming to find one of those picture memory books or something, but instead I found a journal. The handwriting was messy and absolutely didn't belong to either my mother or my father. I just assumed my mom picked it up at one of those church sales she loved going to, but after reading a couple pages, I wasn't so sure. This book has haunted my nightmares. Anytime I close my eyes, I just visualize the things I've read within that damn notebook. And despite my utter fear of it, it'd be dumb to make this post and not recite some of the pages, so here it goes. June 26, 1978. I don't understand why it's so morally wrong to kill someone. People just don't understand the thrill of it. It's the same as taking a drug. The first dose is the best thing imaginable, then the second or the third or any time after that can't live up to that first hit. So many people like to say, don't knock it till you try it. So why are people immediately one to shame murderers? I have a theory that if everyone just tries it once, they'll understand the righteousness of it. Having someone under your hands, watching as their face contorts to shock, to fear, to anger, to desperation, and finally to despair. Seeing the life drain from their eyes, letting you be the last face they see as you crush their windpipes. The small gurgle that reaches up from the back of their throat as they attempt for their final breath is almost orgasmic. March 7, 1978. I still remember my first kill like it was yesterday. It was an accident, sure, but it was still just as incredible as if I'd intended to do it. I was 10 and my mom had just called me in to watch over the baby as she went to go pee. I knew I didn't have a choice. Being asked to do something is never a choice, you're already expected to do it. So I agreed. I sat on the stool she was on originally and watched as the babbling ball of flesh splashed in the water. That thing hated me. Anytime it looked at me it would cry, as if it knew what I was. This time was no different. The second it noticed its sweet mommy was gone, it screamed at the top of its lungs, wailing like a banshee. I swear it's like it wanted to destroy my eardrums. I decided in order to make it stop, I grabbed its little moldable head and shoved it under the water. I'd always been told staying underwater for too long was a bad thing, but I was never taught why. Its screams turned into bubbles and all was quiet till the bubbles stopped. Then a new scream replaced it. One of my mother. I removed my hand as she screamed at me, asking what I'd done. I watched as she took the rag doll of flesh out of the bathtub and try and get some life back into it. I knew I'd fucked up. I immediately brought out the crocodile tears, explaining between sobs that it was an accident, that he actually put his head under and I was bringing it back up. But God, that feeling I had as I watched its body go limp was one I was never going to forget. That is just 2 of the passages from that notebook. I'll spare you all the rest as they were some of the more tamer entries. I have no clue what I'm going to do with this notebook. If I just throw it away, donate it, and let some poor other human read the horrors behind those pages. If I keep it and try to forget about it, handing it into the police would be useless due to how long ago it was. My main thought right now is to burn it, but I don't know. Right now the book just sits on my nightstand like some kind of taunt. No matter where I put it in my house, it just feels like it's just laughing at me because I'm now the unlucky owner of those gruesome pages.